Hello, my name is Chip with Chip's Remodeling. Cameraman Chad with Measure Up Remodeling. We have looked on the internet and we make fun of some of the videos on there because there are wrong ways to do things. And so we decided we're going to show you some of the right ways. Not necessarily the only right way, but one of the right ways. And today we're going to show you how to make a small patch in sheetrock. Now here we got a hole, looks like maybe a fist hole or baseball bat, ball, whatever, anyway. But here I'm going to be doing a butterfly patch. That's what I call it. There's many names for it depending on what side of the country you're on. But what we want to do here is make sure we get all the broken stuff away. Pry it away, see it's broken all the way out to there. Starts getting good and stiff there. We want to make sure and get the loose stuff out like that. Then we want to measure it, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut a square hole in there and put a square piece of sheetrock in there, and we're not going to use nails or tape. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we measure the hole. What we got here is, I'm going to say you want to go a little bit bigger than the hole, just a little bit. So we see in right the same thing with wide. We'll go with 5 inches wide. To make a butterfly patch, like I said, we're not going to use drywall tape or nails or wood behind it or anything. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And we need a piece of sheetrock, and it just so happens we have one right here.
How convenient.
How convenient. And what we're going to do on this sheetrock, we measured 5 inches and 5 inches is big enough to cover that hole, right? So what we're going to do is first I'm going to find me a square. Now, you want to add 1.5 inches of sheetrock. You want to make it 1.5 inches bigger on each side. So that means 1.5 inches bigger on each side of 5 inches is 8 inches. So you want to make an 8-inch square, because both sides are 5 inches. What I want to do now, I put that on 8 inches and come up here and mark it 8 inches. We'll come over here and make a mark right at 8 inches, and that line will come, and it doesn't have, I'll show you when we need perfection. But the easiest way to go ahead and do this is just to cut it in half. You just go ahead and cut that in half. It stayed on your line pretty much, but and break it. You don't have to cut all the way through. Just break it and then score the other side. Like that. Take it off. Voila! Got an 8 inch by 8 inch square, roughly. Now what we're going to do, this is where the 5 inches comes in, because we needed 5 inches to cover the hole. So we made it 8 inches, that's 3 inches bigger. So that's 1.5 inches on each side. So what we do is we take 1.5 inches all the way around, and you want to do this on the back side. Make a square. I'm going to go 1.5 inches. Where's my pencil? There it is. Just go ahead and make it 1.5 inches. You don't have to use a square. You can use a tape measure. Now, we got it. So what you want to do here is you want to take and you want to cut all the way across again. And try and keep it straight in the square. You want to try and keep it straighter. But it's not rocket science. And plus, you do not want to go all the way through. We're not going to do that. But the deeper you go, the cleaner the break is. But you don't want to go all the way through. Just do that for every one of these. That is, unless you want to do it right, then you might want to listen. Then what we do is we just kind of break it gently like that. Break it like that and start peeling it. Peeling that surface tape off. We don't want to break that. Start peeling it very gently. You can take a square out at a time if you want. I just go all the way across like this. And this is why we call it a butterfly patch. Be easy. You want to keep that paper. That paper is going to act as our tape. Just like that. We'll go all the way around. And that's going to slip right in that hole. Oh wait, no it's not. We're going to make the marks to make the hole. So, back off to the hole in the bedroom. Okay, we're back at the hole. Now, I want to show you how we're going to make this fit this. Now, let me add that this is probably about the biggest hole that you want to use this kind of a patch on. Much bigger, you have to use reinforcements like extra wood or go stud to stud, but that's another video. But what you want to do, we take this, we hold it up to the hole. You want to center it in the hole or center it on the square, unless there's a reason not to, like if it's broken out more this way, we'll go a little bit more that way. But hold it on there like that. And this is how to get a perfect fit every time. You take your pencil and you outline the square. Just like that. It doesn't matter if you go over a little bit. Who cares? What if you do that? Oh, no. But no, it doesn't matter. You can go over here. What I like to do, I'm going to use a keyhole saw to cut it out with. You got to make sure there's no electrical in there when you do the other side of the sheetrock out. But here, we're going to use a sheetrock saw, keyhole saw. I don't care. You can call it peanut butter. It doesn't matter. It does the job. Just kind of knock it in there. Or you can twist it. You can do it the other way too. Twist it around in there. I knock it in there. Bang the wall like that way. I do believe we have a stud right there. And what did I fail to do? I failed to put a T for top. Because it matters which way it goes because we outlined it. Remember, so now I'm going to have to find which way it goes in. That's it. Let's go ahead and mark T for the top. Right there, so we don't do that again. And if it's a little tight, that's fine. You just take your knife. The hole might have been cut a little bit crooked or something. What you want to do, what I do is I always take the inside, a little bit of the inside off first. So I don't take too much of the outside off. It doesn't matter if you take a little bit more off on the inside. You're never going to see it. You can do like that and kind of, it's not off by much. So I'm not going to have to take off much. Now, let's see how that patch fits in there. And we got the T on for top, so we know which way it goes. And voila. Now you can see right there, there's probably a little bit of stuff that has to be cleaned off of the patch part. Maybe a little bit, you got to scrape off. You might have to, like that little bit right there. Just don't go through the paper. Just you cut it, the cleaner break it'll be, but the more chance you go through the paper, and you don't want to do that. And now we're ready to clean this up and mud it in. Okay, now what we're going to do, we need to clean the dust out of the hole because we made a lot of dust in there. So you can take a dust brush, a shop vac. Don't suck all the insulation out of the wall. But an air blower, you know, it all depends on what you want to do. But you want to clean the dust off so the mud will stick. And you want your mud, it depends on what kind of mud you buy. Some of it you can do it right out of the box. The ultra lightweight, pull it right out of the box and use it as taping. You get the regular joint compound, you want to put a little bit of water in it so it's not so thick because you're going to squeeze the excess out from underneath the paper. So you just put a little bit in there. You don't need much to tape it with because you got to let it dry. So you don't want to put any more in there than you will need. But you can get some in there if you need to thin it down. Just put a little water in there and do like this. Just mash it on the side till you get a good smooth consistency. And you don't have to buy these expensive knives and pans if you've never done it before. You want to test the waters and see, oh no, I got to go buy all these pans and knives. They make plastic cheap ones. And then if you like to do it and want to do more, go buy the good one. What I like to do is kind of mash it that way. Get a little bit in there like that before I go all the way around. That gets it good and seated to the edge of the drywall there. Anyway, what you want to do is what I do. You take your knife like this, pull it right in the corner. Pull out some mud like that. It's easier to go around and not leave it all over the wall. and you can take one side at a time. You want a layer that's not too thin to leave an air bubble, but you don't want it so thick you're squeezing out all the mud and tearing the paper up. You want a nice, even little bed there. Get you a little bit more. Go ahead and take it that way. Oh, now look what I did. I'm trying to show off and it messed up on me. Anyway, nice, even. You don't want to spend all day on it, but you don't want to be too messy with it either. And since we already got our top marked, we already know which way it goes in. We want to get it in there. And I know some people that like to wet the edges down. There's videos about that. Wetting the edges down, it helps squeeze the mud out. I've never done it. It probably works good. I don't know. Just because it's a different way doesn't mean it's the wrong way. But there are definitely right and wrong ways. But you put it in there till you got it as even with this sheetrock as you can with this rock. Like that. And start squeezing it out. Don't try to squeeze it all out at once. You'll tear the paper. Just kind of lay it down at first. Let it relax a little bit. Let it soak up a little bit of that moisture. And then take and angle your knife a little bit. Have it angled this way and this way. It'll squeeze that mud out. Just like that. You don't want to go too hard. You will rip that paper. Think about how soft paper gets when it's wet. This is wet. Do it just like that. And you want to get it pretty flat. So the less you have to mud later, the less hump there's going to be. So you do that and you let it dry. Go put the rest of the mud back into the box. Wash it up real good. All right, we're back. Now that the patch is dry, we're going to put we're going to put our first coat on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a 10-inch knife so we can spread it out. The further you spread it out, the less of a hump it appears. You're tricking the eye. The hump is still there. You're just spreading it out so your eye doesn't see it. So what I like to do is check and see just how much mud I'm going to need so I'll have an idea. So I just check like that and see what it is, and that's not bad at all. So what you want to do is you want to get a thin bead. I mean, I say a thin bead, it doesn't have to be real thin, but you want to go all the way across the knife. You might have to do it a couple times like that, but take it, and I just go right straight down like that. Maybe have to come up again, you know, to fill in the void. Like that. Come down about halfway. Do it again. And you don't have to be perfect. Don't think you're going to make yours look as good as mine. I've been doing it for 30 years. Like that. And what I do is burn all the edges. Burning the edges, I mean scratch the edges down. Do it like that. And that way, they're feathered. Like that. Like that. And then we smooth it off. And you want to keep more pressure on this side of the knife than you do in the middle, because you don't want to make a knife groove in the middle. You'd rather have that little ripple in there than a groove. So just keep it kind of like that. Kind of like that. Let that dry. And we'll come back when that dries, and we'll put the final bed on it. All right, we're back. We're going to put the second and final bed on it. What I like to do is check it again. Make sure and see how well see, this isn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same 10-inch knife. If it was any worse, I'd go to a 12-inch knife and bring it out a little further. What I like to do is knock any kind of ridges down. Of course, you know, I don't ever have to do this hardly. But you might want to do it. No, I'm kidding. But I'm going to go this way with it this time. That way it's dragging it a different way and filling it in a little bit different. It hides it better. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when you do the filler bed, you don't want it, I told you to thin the mud down a little bit to glue it on there with. You don't want to do it as thin with the filler bed, because you want them to shrink as least amount as possible. So here we go with the second bed, and I'm going to go this way with it. Same thing, just put it on there as smooth as you can. Put, you know, moderate amount of pressure on there, so it fills in the holes, doesn't leave any holidays. Just like that. And again, you burn the edges. And I don't expect you to be as fast as I am. You can take your time and burn the edges, no hurry, but you want to put a little bend in the knife like that. So it gets us as close to the surface as possible. A little pressure on the outside so it doesn't leave a ridge in the middle. A little pressure on the outside. And then there it is. That's the finished bed right there. When that dries, we're going to texture it. Alright, we're back. Now the bedding has dried. It's ready to be textured. Now there's one trick in texturing so you don't leave these lines around here. You can sand it, yes. You can wet sand it, but you have to wet sand around the edges to feather them into the texture. If you don't, you'll leave a line. This texture is real small, so it's not that big of a deal, but it will still leave a line. Bigger texture, you have to feather it in, just like this. I like to get it wet, let it soak in a little bit, all the way around. It's easier to feather if it soaks in a little. And you got to feather that into the texture. Don't rub it too much. You want to rub it all off. And if you see paper or tape, stop. Just like that. And once you got it all feathered in like that, you can tell because it's in the texture. It's not on top of the texture, on the edge. It's down in the, and it won't leave a line. People think we're magic, but this really isn't magic, is it? Now, I would demonstrate the can of texture that you buy in the paint stores, but we don't have one. The can texture would be ideal because you don't want to have to go out and rent an air compressor and a hopper to do this. But you have to be real careful with the can texture and test it out on a piece of sheetrock outside before you come inside and do it in little spurts. Little spurts. You can always put more on it. Hard to take it off. All right, here we go. We're just going to put a little texture on this. This is an orange peel. I think I got it set right. Let's see. I always like to feather it out a little bit. Just to make sure it flows into the other texture. One more little hit like that. And when that dries, perfection. This is Chip Foscue with Chip's Remodeling, Chad with Measure Up Remodeling, and Chris Alvarado with Chris's Painting. Say something to the fans out there.
Hello, fans.